drew me to drag was definitely the performance part.
And I'm a drag queen.
But I usually duck in, duck out, do my gig.
I'm just here to get maybe.
Tasha just be like,
She's like, girl, I'm just here for my interview.
this is what Tasha says. Oh, I'm a drag queen.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Just say it.
No.
Just say it really quick.
I can't.
Like that? We're good.
Okay.
Becky.
My name's DeeGee Reynolds.
She said, what a cute little chair.
I'm 23 years old. I'm born and raised in Austin, Texas. What drew me to drag was definitely the performance part. Like, a lot of it was like being able to see I can't think of names right now, but being able to see queens and the moment they step out and it like captures you so much that like any rhythm that they tend to like move to, you find yourself like enjoying it, and then they lock you in by like that stare, you know, like that one glance. That's all it takes. That's what drew me into drag. Like, was having that power of like overtaking a crowd with just one single glance, and you know everybody's ready for the next thing to happen.
How many of y'all are drinking tonight? Am I pretty? Yeah! Shit, y'all are drunk as fuck. Baby, so we're...
My name is Tasha Starr. I am 32 years old. I'm originally from Waco, Texas, but I live in Austin. It was just a group of friends that were doing drag in Waco. I met one for the first time, and from there I was pretty much hooked. Like, I wanted to be a drag queen, so that was it. Just friends. Just influences.
Where's my fucking I look like a fucking sunset.
What's the issue?
I don't do color.
Oh, my bad. I'm
It'll
sorry.
bring
girl.
joy to people's lives.
My name's Becky Bombshell. I'm 24 and I live in Austin, Texas. What drew me to drag was the creative freedom about it, because like not a lot of like artistic forms you have like full reign. Like I grew up like in theater and stuff, and you were just kind of a part of a puzzle where you're like the puzzle master. Is that a word? It is now. I grew up in theater. And I really wanted to be like a movie actor. Like I really wanted to be like on Disney Channel and stuff. I grew up in like the early 2000s, so like everyone wanted to be on Disney Channel. I wanted to be on Lizzie McGuire. I wanted to be on That's So Raven. Today, I went to this fast food restaurant. Okay, I've never been there before. It's crazy. What am I doing? What am I doing? What the fuck? So I started doing like a lot of theater and stuff, and so, like, that's kind of a big passion of mine is theater and film and acting and stuff like that. But, you know, once I graduated high school, I was just kind of, like, over it. I felt like the politics started playing in a little bit. And then when you're, like, fresh out of high school, you're losing your mind. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what's going on. There's so much pressure on you in, like, the last 2 years of high school to really figure out the rest of your life. And it was just a lot for me. So, I thought drag was perfect.
But when I was little, like, I was always that cousin that was like, let's not like play outside. Let's choreograph to step up music. Like, you know, it's like, come on, like a song would randomly come up and I would just like automatically be like, okay, so this is what we're doing. And like I would do 1-2 steps in my head and they would be over it. But yeah. What else was I trying to say with that? What was the question again?
Have you thought about like performing or dabbling in performance before drag? Like through like theater or like anything like that?
I never did like theater or anything. Like nothing really attracted me to like wanting to start performing, to be honest. Like this was kind of like I would have never thought of seeing myself in this position. Of like actually making it become a thing and, you know, like being decent or good at it and then having it prosper into something else. It wasn't necessarily something I wanted to do before, but it's definitely changed since life started. Yeah.
I was in theater tech. I never thought I would see myself like on stage. I always thought I would see myself like behind the scenes, like cameras and lights and stuff. But it wasn't until the first time I was on stage that I was like, this is what I wanted to do.
Free question for you guys, and everyone better make some noise on this one. We're on my free side. Woo! A bit of a delay, but we'll work on it. Awesome, guys, are you ready for your next entertainer? Yeah! Awesome, she was the hostess at the beginning of the show.
RuPaul's Drag Race is great.
It's definitely added some competitive queens to the scene,
but it did create a lot of
I think
but not really. Yeah.
saturation. In drag, there's a lot of people that do drag just to get on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I don't know. I necessarily feel myself going away from that part. You know, like at first, like watching RuPaul, it was such like of course, an inspiration, and actually to be like, oh, I can do that one day, or like, you know, oh, I could do that any day, but in real life you can't.
That's about it.
And they just copy all the girls have been on. It's like over like 100 or something now.
The competitive part about drag that I think it is that thrive of like wanting to beat somebody at their best in order for you to like make yourself grander.
A lot of the RuPaul's Drag Race like scene has brought in some queens like they think they're the shit because they've either auditioned for it or they've also it gives people like a platform and an attitude as if they're better than somebody, which is that's the main thing I don't like about drag now. Drag now has a bunch of girls who are I think they're entitled because they feel like they look like the girls on the TV and that whole model, like I'm a model kind of thing in their head. So that's one of the things. People's attitudes have changed since RuPaul's Drag Race.
They just find a queen they like and they mimic what they're doing, and then they're like, I'll get on RuPaul's Drag Race that way, and then I'll be famous or whatever. And I think that's really sad. You know, drag is such like a cool thing. It's so underground, but it's been around for so long, and it has like such a rich history, and the people that do it are so interesting that when somebody just sees like a kind of a glossy, polished version of it, and then they think that that's all it is, and then they just want to do it like that, it's really weird.
With RuPaul, I feel like it made more people want to start getting involved in it and really like pushing forward, you know, like new marketing skills or just new drag in general, and having it be their survival kit, you know, for life in general.
I try not to be political when it comes to my drag. I try to keep political stuff like in my personal life instead of drag. I know there's a lot of political artists that do a lot of like protest shows and stuff like that. I stand for what they do and I appreciate it, but it's just not my style. When it comes to like being safe in a club, it is sometimes nerve-wracking going in, not knowing that something just happened, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I gotta watch myself. And even in on my own city, gotta be cautious when we go into places. I get nervous sometimes, but I just want to be that person that's, yeah, I may be scared, but I'm gonna go through it and still do what I love. No one's gonna stop me.
I feel like since I kind of just started, I haven't necessarily thought about the political part. To me, this is more of definitely an enjoyment, and I don't want to take it to that part, you know, like I feel like it would ruin it a little bit for me if I took it more of a political stance. You know, I know that it's something big for us to do because that is, in the beginning, I feel like that's where everybody wants to take it, and then you end up finding something else in the community that you want to help out with. That's I keep getting clueless. It really just stumps you because I just low-key just forgot why I kind of wanted to start it. You know, I wanted to be a saying for other people. Why I wanted to start it was like, just that alone is such a big deal, but it sometimes only takes one person to change it.
What's up, bitches? It's me, Becky. Today I have something actually really important to talk about. Something that's really close to my heart, and I think that we should all discuss it. And that is the mistreatment of bottle blondes.
The rise of hate crimes is scary to me. I grew up in like a really dangerous environment, so it's kind of weird, kind of being back in that mindset. It really kind of threw me for a loop. And you know, Trump got elected like right as I got sick. I had like a parasite for 5 years, and I had no idea until like right after Trump's election. I went to the doctor. I was like, oh, I'm just like fat and lazy. Maybe I'm like, I thought I was like allergic to something that I didn't know I was allergic to, and I just kept like eating it or like being around it or something. But I had a whole ass like parasite in my stomach, eating me alive slowly in my early 20s. So much fun. But like after getting rid of it and stuff, it made me like, and I was in such a weakened state, and I was like so sick for so long. Like I could barely do anything just because my body was so malnourished from, you know, the parasite that I had for like half a decade. So it was really jarring to see kind of like the rise of LGBT hate happen right as like my body got weaker, and it really fucked me up like severely. Like I'm just now like getting over it, and it's been like what, like 4 years. Wow. Trauma. We love trauma. I try not to get too political with my drag though. You know, growing up watching entertainment, I always saw it as a form of escapism. So, and that's honestly saved my life. Like I'm so obsessed with so many things. Like I said, I was a cosplayer. I'm a huge geek when it comes to movies, TV, stuff like that. And I kind of view entertainment as a form of coping. And, you know, that's what I choose to do as a performer. Not only for a way to me to cope, but for other people to cope. You know, I've had so many people come up to me after shows, and they talk about how my performance helped them in some way, even if it was just a stupid performance. They're like, you know, this really took my mind off something, or, you know, it really kind of brightened my day. And that's what I want to do, because that's what other people do for me, so why not do it for other people? It's so cheesy and cliche, but like, honestly, I kind of do this to brighten my day up and other people's days up, and do something cool and just have fun. Because there's so much crap going on, like why, you know, it's important to talk about things that are happening, but it's also important to not, and to have a moment to yourself and live your life, and not be all consumed with everything that's happening, all the bad things, all the shootings, all the hate crimes, you know, have a moment to live, because what's the point of living in fear all the time, you know? Fear is not a pretty color.
What happened on the days of my experience? Can you imagine? Like, we don't insult witches. Witches are the goddesses. We don't insult you.
I see myself doing drag for quite some time. I don't think it's gonna end for me just yet. I feel, I keep feeling myself like wanting to push more and more, and, you know, definitely meeting new people that are in certain parts of the community, especially the drag community, that has, you know, a wider variety set that you can learn from. So I feel like until maybe I get everything down. Then that's when I will stop drag. But I don't picture myself doing it anytime soon.
Oh, I'm never gonna stop. I can say that right now. I'm never gonna stop. Like I tell my friends, and I told my boyfriend as well. I was like, no tea, no shade, but drag was here before you, and it will always be here after you.
Tonight, my name is Tasha Starr again. I'm the Countess Minister of the United Court of Austin. Whew. So fast, though. I'm so sorry. How many of y'all are drinking tonight? Am I pretty? Yeah! Shit, y'all are drunk as fuck.
I don't see myself doing drag for that long. I've done it now for like 5 years, I guess. And yeah, like 5-6 years, which is plenty of time. Girl, I've gone through like a name change. I've gone through so many variations of my drag. I've quit drag like 3 times already. And you know, it's a lot of wear and tear. It's a lot of energy you have to put into something, a lot of money, a lot of time. I'm still in debt from just drag alone. And it gets tough, and I don't see myself doing it forever. I do see myself maybe coming back to it eventually, but I don't see, it's not like my main goal in life. You know, there's other things I want to do, and you know, drag is fun, and it's helped me through a lot. You know, I've gone through some crazy shit, and drag's really helped me kind of pull myself out of kind of like certain mindsets and looking at only the negative and kind of brightened up my little dark mind. So, you know, it always holds like a special place in my heart, and I'm still doing it right now, and I'm continuing to do it for as long as I feel like I should or I can. But forever, I don't know.
A sugar daddy to watch over me. I just want to thank everybody so much for all the love and support for my last video. I know that it's really tough to kind of see the darker side of YouTubers, you know, but I'm not here to be fake. I'm not here to be a plastic bitch. I'm here to be real.
Can't you see? I got a bunch of plastic in here.
Oh, can you play,
Can I?
They're stupid. Does the toxicity of nightlife culture affect your regular day-to-day life outside of drag?
I try to not let it do so, but it does affect me when I'm there. It's very, like, I don't know, because my everyday life I try to be super happy, happy-go-lucky, but when I'm in drag, sometimes I get really pissed at some of the people that are there, or some of the way that the queens are getting treated, and sometimes just the way that other queens are treating each other. Like, it sometimes can be a very toxic place to be because of just everyone in the surroundings wanting to be higher than another. But I just go in there with a smile on my face and try not to let it affect me as much as it does. So,
Considering I not just started, but considering that I work at the same bar that I perform at, yes, you know, like, it's tiring, you know, staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, being a bar back or working the door at Sellers Underground. That alone, like, is, you know, it's tiring on, like, a different physical aspect. You know, it's not necessarily as DeeGee, you know, it's as Damien, myself, you know. But does it take a toll, I feel like? Yes, sometimes, you know. Some days, you know, I get into this and I'm tired first, but once everything comes on, you know, I'm energized as soon as, like, you know, the full look's complete. I think anyone can do it, but it takes a lot of time to, like, keep that mentality from going back and forth and really separating the two when it comes to performance and nightlife.
It's different.
Uh-huh.
The toxicity of nightlife really does affect me, like, a lot. Just because I am so fragile mentally. Just drunk people all the time. Oh my gosh, like, I've started saying, like, in the past few months, I've just been calling everybody a crackhead. Because that's how people act. Like, it's crazy, because I found a group of people that I can really feel safe around, feel comfortable around, and I don't feel like I have to be on guard. at work. It's really weird. Like when you're like at a job and you're scared that some drunk person is just gonna do something crazy. You know, I've had friends attacked, I've had friends drugged, you know, none of that has happened to me, thank God, but I usually duck in, duck out, do my gig.
First, and then
Oh.
I do my foundation and all that other stuff.
I do my whole eyes first whenever even now I guess whenever I
Like,
put on a
'cause-
light Mary.
If I look okay with this part, then I'm like, okay. You know, like, I'm okay.
If my eyebrows are snatched, so is my face, no matter what.
Well, it's like, it's the most scariest part, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because it takes so much time just to be like,
Is that how you started?
with my brows first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If not, it was definitely just figuring out my face. Like, I think I just used like all powders when I first started. But like, it was like
really?
Yeah.
none of the same. It was like something shiny, or like they always had like something sparkles. It was never like the right material.
So
to
do you feel like
use.
you're best at your eyebrows?
No, I think I'm best at like being able to find my face finally, because it's taken a minute.
What about you, Tasha? What was like the first thing that you were like, oh, I'm a bitch stamped?
I think it was my eyes. Like the fact that I did my credit card eyes, the credit card eyes is what I call it, because I give the credit card there and even get point. That was probably like my staple, like beginning. Okay, bitch, I got the set. Like, and then it finally got to the point where I was like, okay, well, DeeGee actually got me to do it to where I stopped doing the corners so much. But that was my staple. That was a Tasha eye. Lately, I felt like my makeup's been a lot better.
Oh, it gets better with time.
Coming out, baby, I've been doing drag for 15 years. It took me that long to get this good? No. I didn't want to sit there and like just take time. I was like, oh yeah, I look pretty. I feel pretty, so fuck it. Well, now like I look at my face now after doing drag now, and I'm like, oh shit, bitch, that's better. Like,
Yeah.
like last night I felt beautiful. I felt so beautiful. I felt
Whited out eyes, just a demon.
that
Felt
part.
beautiful.
That's how I started doing drag. I started doing drag as a very dark, like
Was it demonic?
it's very demonic, very evil. But yeah, that was just recently I just started changing up my drag ever since my whole life has changed. I was like, oh,
But you can see the difference in your two drags, like right now even. Just like the way that you guys apply stuff. A little spit, a little spit.
What?
Look at this. I actually met my boyfriend at a show, so it's a good this was sorry. I actually met my boyfriend at a show, and I haven't been happier since. Like I met him at one of my shows, and yeah, it's helped my romantic life out a lot.
How'd you do it?
Huh?
How'd you meet him?
How did you meet?
How did we meet? Oh God! So I was performing the Wicked Witch of the West, and Nadine was one of the judges was wearing the Dorothy outfit, so I should have got her shoe. Of course, she didn't let up, so I saw him even before the number started, you know, sitting on the side, and I was like, I want to get to him, so I went and took his shoe.
Oh, okay, bold. Come
Yeah,
on, bold.
I was nervous, so that was my way of like opening the lines of communications to him. So.
My romantic life is very sad, as is a lot of things. Drag has affected my romantic life a lot, just because I am bisexual, and I have not dated a girl since I started doing drag, just because anytime I tried, it was like, they either thought it was weird, or one woman straight up told me, she said that she feels like her femininity is threatened because I'm a feminine person. And the thing is, like, if you hang out with me outside of drag and you hang out with me in drag, you know, I'm not a completely different person, but it's very obvious that I am a little more feminine, a little more outgoing in drag, just because I feel like I have to be. Like, I am a drag queen, so I have to go out there and I have to be more outgoing, I have to be more sociable, I have to be more like, cow. You know what I mean? That has affected my romantic life, just because, you know, it's really jarring for people, I've noticed. Because, like, if you even look at my apartment, like, it's like half of it's like really pink and girly. There's like pictures of Marilyn Monroe. There's like I don't know, there's mannequins and shit. And then, you know, you look at the other half of my apartment and it's just like dorky, nerdy stuff, like a Sublime poster that glows in the dark next to my Funko Pops of Star Wars characters. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, it's kind of, it's a lot to take in.
I don't know. I've been single all my life, but it definitely has improved the confidence in not only as a performer, but it's improved my confidence as, you know, a dude, a man, you know, like it. When I take this off, like there's that switch where like, ugh, that's who I am, you know, like that is me, you know, like that is you. It's crazy how much drag ends up changing the way your thought process is about yourself, and I don't know, I really enjoy the transformation just because you feel that like, oh, you know, I can put that bitch in time out. You know, like she, you know, she needs to go away, meaning DeeGee, but it's always there. But yeah.
Do you think drag like helps you appreciate your like self more as a person?
I believe so. Like I strongly believe so. Like you tend to like just start walking differently, really like not caring what anyone else is thinking about. You're really just enjoying life, being yourself. And I think that's the biggest key in life. And I think that's what it's helped me with. Relationship wise, who knows, you know, like, but I think you gotta start like with yourself first before anything else. With this whole drag experience happening, like, that's what I've kind of learned.
How has drag affected your family life?
Oh, that's a hard one. That's like a tough one, actually. So on my mother's side of the family, they were okay with it. At first, it did take them a minute. They were like, you know, I don't want you to be around my kids because you do drag, and but then they started warming up to the idea that I did drag. My mom and my aunt and my sister have all came to my shows. On the other side of the family, not so much. I've lost contact with a lot of my family because they have never really said it to my face, but I've heard from other family members what they have said. But I'm an embarrassment to the family. That, you know, what I do and who I am, because I'm also trans, like it's ungodly. And I just really don't communicate with them anymore. There's only one person on that side of the family that has actually come up to me with her husband and her kids and have told me, like, they know what you are and what, you know, what you do, and we tell them to respect any and everybody. There's only one person on that side of the family that I can actually go to and talk to about stuff like that. So it's torn my family in half with me, because I am trans and because I do drag. So that side of the family doesn't really ever talk to me. They talk to my other brother who's gay, but I haven't talked to them in years. Yeah, it's been a while. Ooh, sorry.
Oh no, girl.
I am like
Combination.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Yes.
Put her on camera, girl, so she knows.
Shut up.
Bland little thing.
Don't do it too late.
Do you use powder? Is that powder that you're using? What are you using
No,
right now?
I'm using my foundation right now.
Oh.
I didn't like the way that this sponge was
What is it, a real technique?
applying it. Huh?
Is it a real technique?
No,
it looks like a
girl,
real
I got it cheap. My family life is my family is super supportive. Even when I was little, you know, like, anytime our cousins or myself would have a baseball game, a softball game, football game, volleyball game, like, everybody was always there. It was random, you know, like everybody would show up and you're like, ah, you know, and get all nervous and stuff. But like, I feel like I can say I'm one of the few that are kind of lucky to have the type of supportive family that I have. It's definitely a new era, but you know, I can say for myself, like, maybe I wouldn't have done this. Like, I maybe would have been super scared if, you know, no one was as supportive as they were.
My family's always been really supportive of me. Obviously, when I started doing drag, like, that kind of makes sense. Kind of an obnoxious little thing. So, of course, we do drag. Of course, we do drag queen. I grew up doing theater. I grew up doing cosplay, like sports. I was always very active, very creative, so it wasn't like a big surprise.
So I work with a bunch of drag queens, which is kind of funny. But like, and as y'all know, like I advertise at work all the time if I can. You know, they're like, oh, so you know what's going on? I was like, oh, drag show. Like it's something. It's a conversation starter sometimes, but most times I try to keep it as low key as possible, so it doesn't really affect my like everyday at work. So it doesn't really affect my job, but I like talking about it sometimes if people ask me about it and see my Facebook page and Instagram. So
you kind of use like your day job as like a marketing platform for drag.
If I feel the opportunity is correct, yeah. My job, like, they're very lenient about that. Like, you know, we can talk about it, but don't just be like, hey, wow, like I usually do. Y'all know me. Hi, I'm a drag queen, and marry that.
I can say my work life is getting better. You know, I'm starting new goals for myself that I've never, you know, like, nowadays I write in a notebook, and I never used to do that before, but for some reason I'm like, I gotta keep schedule. Because it gets crazy. Like, one day you're doing a performance, and the next day, you know, you're like, okay, that's over. Now I have to go to work, but I still have to think about the next gig. You know, what's the theme? What's the tea, girl?
Drag has affected my work life. My drag name was my actual name for like years, up until this year actually. And I changed it like for a lot of reasons. A lot of people started realizing that it wasn't just my drag name. People started realizing it was my real name, which kind of bothered me. I had just lost like a competition. I was really devastated because that was the first time I actually tried winning something. And then I did it, and it was so sad, and I was so embarrassed, and I was just like, God, I hate feeling embarrassed when I don't do well in drag, just because it is my actual name. So, you know, people are saying my name when I like do something stupid, or like I lose something, or like you know, when you're just disappointing in yourself, and then it's like actually your name being said. It's a different kind of feeling because it feels more personal. Whereas with a drag persona, you know, girl, my earring fully just came out. Hello. With a drag persona, it's different, just because there's a little more like anonymity to it. When it came to like maybe trying to apply for a job, when the supervisor goes to the shows and they don't like me, then I won't get the job. It's kind of fucked up, but that's how life is. You know, that's how life is. You know, everything you do matters. Even when you think it doesn't matter. Everything you do matters, and there are always people around and watching, and you know that can always come back to you. So you might as well try to be the best person you can possibly be.
I'm always in need of a new wardrobe. I love going to fashion stores. I do have a sugar daddy, but
so it's like is it difficult being taken seriously when you try to, like, as your drag self, expand your drag brand through other things, like if you try to do merch or if you try to do stuff outside just nightlife?
I haven't necessarily. I mean, I haven't taken my drag to that level yet. There's definitely, you know, stuff that I would like to invest in, like t-shirts or, but
I don't know. It's hard for people to take drag queens seriously because they see us as nothing but like all drag queens, AFAB drag queens. They see us all as like people who do extremely crazy makeup and go out there and dehumanize women, and which is not the case at all. It's very hard because like people at my job, some people that are higher up are very against it. So yeah.
So like, has being trans affected your drag experience?
From separating the two, for me, it's like Monica Beverly Hills said on RuPaul's Drag Race. Drag is what I do, and trans is who I am. Tasha Starr, as a performer, she's very slutty, very promiscuous. There's two sides of her actually. There's very slutty, promiscuous. There's also very sad and emotional. Those things are not who I am in real life. Like my confidence level when I'm out of drag is super low, and you know, I don't have any confidence like at all when I'm walking to work or going home. But when I'm on stage or when I'm in the bar, it elevates my self-confidence a lot. So yeah.
I knew I smelled fish. Where are my homosexuals?
So you've done drag for how many years?
I've done drag for about 15 years.
15 years, right? And you've done it in multiple cities. So like, has doing drag in different cities and living in different cities doing drag, how has it changed your aesthetic, changed your drag performance style?
It has. Every city I've done has a different. I've been like mostly in Waco, Temple, Killeen, Waco, Killeen, and Austin. Sorry. Those three cities are totally different. Waco, I started off as a drag queen, like more gothic blood, and white contact lenses, and black makeup, and that. But then when I started going to Killeen, it's more of an urban, like hip hop like versions, like you can be more loose and twerk and stuff. But and then here in Austin, it's sadly divided between like the alternative queens and the pageant queens, which is actually that's disintegrating because they're starting to merge now. But I came to Austin and Forestry was the only street that I knew of at the time, so I started going more the pageant queen era direction. So that's how different cities have changed my drag. So yeah.
What is your hope for the future of drag?
I just hope, all around and like collectively, everything gets better. My hope for drag is there's so many like touchy subjects. There's that hope that everyone gets accepted. Depending on like what type of drag they do. We can always all say it will, but a lot of times, everyone has a little wall up, and that little wall sometimes can like break the fact of you actually enjoying something different. Another part of drag that I hope that like gets better is like just overall, I really hope that everyone pushes their limits, and really makes something out of it. Because if you're doing it for this long and like still like pushing yourself to think of new ideas and think of new ways to get something done or like to figure something out, I think just end up just take it all away. That's what I hope. Like everyone like really makes it a business, and like maybe we should just start fighting a little bit more. And we have a couple of queens here in Austin that like are putting merchandise out, or they're having fundraisers for a lot of events that like give away drag to other drag queens. That way we can better ourselves. We can take that moment and make it grand. Like I really hope that we all collectively end up doing that and putting a mark on the map.
And I hope it keeps expanding. I hope every week that comes to the scene changes it. I like the fact that it's not the same when I started. I'm old school drag, like back when Kelly Klein was like still coming to the scene, like Stemport, Crystal Summers, Asia O'Hare was starting to come to the scene. Like I'm back then. Now I love the fact that we have all kinds of different things. I love how it's so many branches of drag. There's not just one. I just wanted to keep expanding.
I want people to just have more fun. I want people to stop taking that so seriously. I just want people, like not only like the people doing drag, but the spectators to also just have fun and be open and drag shows are more fun when they're not just all the same bitch coming out in a row. You know what I mean? They're fun when there's versatility. It's fun when they make you think, when they try to have you use your imagination. I think people just need to experiment, have more fun with it, and step out of their comfort zone, because honestly, things that stay the same for a long amount of time don't last that long. Like if we continue to just do the same kind of 3 categories of drag, then they're going to dissipate, and then drag won't be, like it was like all for nothing, you know what I mean? Like we're having a huge drag renaissance right now, but like it doesn't matter if it's going to be gone in like a couple years because everyone's doing the same thing and it's oversaturated and nobody cares anymore. Just things go by really quickly, and drag is such a wonderful art form and such an amazing community with such a rich history that like I just seeing it fade away like that would just be so sad,